Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by Andy, my brother.
Danny, my brother.
It's crazy, bro. You're visiting me in LA.
I've had a great time, man. We've had some big adventures on this trip. I've been sleeping right where we're sitting right now.
That's so crazy for the listeners. Yeah. Yeah, you guys got to imagine my brother was sleeping in my living room.
Yeah, imagine sort of a living room with a rug and then a brand new air. You bought me an air mattress.
I did.
I appreciate
it was $30, so you know I care about you, bro.
Thanks, man.
But here's what's interesting. This, I don't know, like I've known you my whole life or ever since you've been around.
Yeah, I guess my whole life, not your
There
whole
you go.
life.
And whenever you first came out, they were all like, "Oh, he's your brother," and I was like, "Whatever." Seems like a threat.
Jeez.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
That's kind of threatening. I was like, I'm kind of the kid in this
I'm kind
house.
of the guy here.
I'm the kid. Okay, this is this other kid. And so, you know, I was mean to you as a kid. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay, man. I don't really remember that.
Yeah, it was
I only
fucked
remember
up.
a couple of times.
It was bad. It was so much worse than you were. No. But anyway, and then you were always like, "Oh, I'm your little brother," and whatever.
I was always saying that.
It was weird how
Hey, man,
much
I'm
you
your
were.
little brother.
I'm your little brother. I'm your
you
little
used
brother.
to be the kid, and now I'm the kid, actually. Adult
But,
brother.
you know, you were a young child. You're 8 years my junior.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. There was nothing wrong with you. You're always a good kid. That you were a good kid. But it's weird on this trip where I'm like, oh, he's not a kid no more.
And
Like,
finally ringing true as a person to you.
yeah, before I was like, if he dies, I don't know if it's murder.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if that's
I'm 26.
murder.
It's been a while.
When you were 20, I'd be like, it's a little, it's like
Jesus.
murder. It's like murder, surely. No, but anyway, you're like your own guy now. Like you make me laugh, and I'm like, I never thought of that before. Look at this motherfucker. He's out here with an
I
independent.
made it, baby. I'm in your consciousnness.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man, I've been tickling you a lot, sort of, and that's the only way I can make you laugh is sort of tickling. But
You haven't been. Why are you lying to them, saying you ain't tickled me once? You're
Whatever,
not,
dude.
You're not very aggressive physically. We're different.
yeah, you are aggressive physically.
Whoa! I put myself in that corner. Well, no, but I think we're different. I don't think either of us are very physical. But I wanted to say that I was thinking about, you know, I think I'm more like Dad personality-wise
Yes.
in certain ways. Like, definitely you're more like, this is because I go to you for interpersonal problems. You're a consultant.
Sure.
And I think, have a very measured, you know, reserved approach, which has come in very clutch.
I'm glad I've helped you, man. And was this before or after you considered me a human that would be considered murdered if killed?
You just barely became a human.
So before you'd consult with me, but if I had given the
wasn't
wrong
taken
word, you could have
seriously.
killed me, and it didn't matter. It didn't really matter.
No, and I thought about
it. Didn't matter.
I thought about having you killed. Anyway, no. So, but we have some stories to tell you guys about. We went to Groveland. This was fun.
Groveland.
Thank you for helping out, man. That was
Absolutely,
awesome.
man. I got a couple of good handshakes. They said, "Nice work, cameraman."
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Pretty
Congratulations.
nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah, so on the way to Groveland, though, we there's all these exit signs, and me and Brian and Andy were noticing them. I can't remember what they said.
The exit signs?
Yeah, it was like, gotta go to this petting zoo, or like, what
Oh,
did they actually
right.
say? I don't know.
I forget what it was called, but it was something like "Buck, stop!" And I would say 100 yards coming up to it. It was really fast.
so
we
many,
passed
though.
like 10 in a row, and it was
10.
like, make sure you come to Buck's Yard. By the way, we've got candy at Buck's Yard. You don't want to miss the smoothies at Buck's Yard. Free petting zoo at Buck's Yard. Free petting zoo got us. And
That had me.
we had to
Free
go.
petting zoo?
Free petting zoo at a truck stop.
Like, what? And then Brian actually pulled into the Chevron, and I was like, "You're really gonna go for the Chevron? We're right by the petting zoo
We're right
place."
by the free petting zoo.
And so we went, and there were so many animals. There was a peacock. I remember him.
There were goats, pigs, there were
Cats,
cats,
tiny cats running
domestic
around.
cats.
They were free. They weren't in the cages like the other animals.
There were birds. There were some parakeets.
There was over, I don't know, 12 different kinds of root beer.
Yes.
It was a great gas station. And, you know, when you're a traveling comedian, you come to appreciate these things.
Yeah, because you stop at a lot of truck stops and you're like, I guess this is like what America is like all these freeways and these truck stops that I guess have showers, and some of them sell clothes and some of them they sell knives. Yeah. You can buy giant weapons. But then there's a free petting zoo and you're like, this is the America that I enjoy.
It was truly special.
It's beautiful.
I love those little creatures. So the show went great. Thanks for your help, Andy. Yeah. Super fun. Shout out to Brian Rhodes, who came with us. And he crushed it. But yeah, so then we were driving back. I went to a Chevron and I pull up. I was kind of strategizing because there was like a line, and then I was like, oh, I'll just back into this next stall because they got there later. So I kind of went forward of the cars. I wasn't cutting or anything. And this guy backs out of his spot and proceeds to drive by us, making eye contact with me, screaming in his car, very, very angry.
Screaming loud and then stopping, screaming, and just staring while driving by. It's the stare after the scream that's like, oh, he is contemplating an act against you.
I don't know what I did. I wasn't involved with this guy. No. I wasn't near his car. And Andy kept being like, don't look at the man. Don't look at the man. And I was like, I can't not look at the man.
Can't look at the man.
And so what ended up happening was, and I had this gut feeling that he wasn't going to leave, even though he drove his car kind of away. He just went around the side. And I was like, he didn't leave. He's still here. Sure enough, he walks into the convenience store, and I was like, I'm not going in there. Like, I'm not engaging with this guy.
Well, and meanwhile, me and Brian are in there. So we're in there with the guy.
Yeah, but he was mad at me, bro. I don't know why, but I was his target.
And so you drove to the other Chevron across the street. So me and Brian came outside, and I'm looking for this guy because I'm scared too.
It's making my heart race right now just talking about this motherfucker.
I can't find your car. You text, I'm at the other Chevron. I couldn't do it. I was afraid of the man.
The menacing man.
And you were like, I'll come pick you up. I'm like, no, dude, we're walking over there because he's over here. I don't want to be over here while he's over here. He's looking for your car. We're all three of us are.
And he was just a guy who was looking mad. That's all he was. There was no evidence to suggest he had a weapon or superpowers, but
no, he was just angry, and we had seen knives being sold at other truck stops. So like maybe he had a knife, you know?
Yeah, there was a lot of knives at the truck stops.
It's a lot of knives.
They're really pushing the knives these days.
Well, I also want to say on our way to Groveland, and we talked about this briefly, you pulled over and you went to work out. On our way on a road trip,
right?
You went in. You don't have a membership at Planet Fitness.
No.
And you figured a way out to go work out. And me and Brian sat in the car and kind of met each other for the first time. We talked for 20 minutes while you worked out.
Yeah.
And we waited.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think this was a sin, really. We were relatively close to the venue. I thought I had planned well. I built it a time cushion. Mm-hmm. We were kind of it's always getting out of LA that makes me anxious because, traffic here. I mean, I think it's funny that I pushed you guys. I guess I hadn't thought of it that way, realizing that you guys hadn't spent any time alone together.
I think what was most interesting to me was just you not realizing that it was a little bit strange. I don't think it was a crime, but it was like, oh wow, no, we're pulling over and Danny's going to exercise and we're in a town that we've never been in a strip mall where the only thing there is to do is go to either the Dollar Tree or the Family Dollar.
I didn't think you guys got left in some kind of bad situation, no. Andy. Was it weird? I guess I thought it was weird that you guys were going to sit in the car. That was your initial plan. I was like, all right.
You want us to go to the Dollar Tree?
Yes. Or walk around
a strip mall.
Yes. Walk in the strip malls. There was also a protein store. I don't know. You could have driven somewhere else. There was no requirement. You had the car.
That's true.
But no, I thought it was interesting. So you guys, that's a curious thing, when you're in a trio, because, me and Brian know each other, but you're more introverted. So it was cool. It's kind of cool to me. Now you're in this position where now you got to be friends. I don't know. More vocal.
No, it was good. It ended up being good. I learned about Brian. He learned about me.
It's beautiful.
I guess it's beautiful, man. I don't know. I just thought it was a
I
little...
did a super fast workout. I think it
You
was
did.
reasonable.
You went in jeans. You went into the Planet
I
Fitness
broke
in
every
jeans.
Planet Fitness rule. That's actually the sin.
Yeah.
I broke every Planet Fitness rule. I was wearing flip-flops and jeans, and there's literally a sign that's like no flip-flops, no jeans, and the
no
lady,
leaving your brother and friend in car.
Yeah.
You broke them all.
And I was like trying to pay, and the lady's like, don't pay, just get the app, it's free. And I was like, I just want to work out. She's like, I can't, just get the app. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just shit all over your rules and then not pay. If that's really what you want. That's the level at Planet Fitness. They're just like, fuck it.
That's a good sell. Fuck
it. Anyway, so you're more introverted. You're a nice guy. You are a guy now, which is interesting. You're a person.
A guy. Yeah.
But this was so Gen Z, bro. I'm sorry. I got to call you out. So I took you all around LA. We saw some good sights. That's an overstatement. But anyway, we went to Los Feliz, or I think they say Los Feliz here or something. It's very confusing.
I think I've heard it that way. Sure.
No, but you can't say it right. You have to say it wrong, like white people say it, or people will correct you.
Like Casa Grande.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if you're like Casa Grande.
It's like, what? Are you even from here? You're not from here then.
Yeah, I prefer CG, dog.
Yeah.
We go to this coffee shop, and it's the kind of coffee shop where they have a tremendous ladle or something attached to the key.
Yeah,
the bathroom
key. I had to go to the bathroom. We went into to the freaking coffee shop. I wanted to go to the bathroom. That was our only goal. There was no other goal. The goal was I had to pee. It would have been nice to pee, and it was packed. The place was packed.
It was very packed. So Andy's like not getting into the bathroom as I'm like ordering kind of out of obligation, and it just this just had the energy of like, you don't know what a coffee is? Like, I don't know, there's just like a pretentious vibe in the air. And so finally I get to you come back to me, and the barista is
I'm ready to leave. I can't open the door. I put the key in. I go left. It doesn't open. I go right. It doesn't open. I'm confused. I feel like I'm about to walk in on someone. I knock. No sound happens. You're looking at me. I feel someone come up behind me. They want to go in the bathroom. I'm causing problems. I don't have to pee anymore. I'm ready to leave. It's fine. We can leave. I want to get out of here. I feel like everyone's looking at me. The lights are bright.
Wow, you really freaked out. And I was like, hey, like, he's trying to go to the bathroom. Is it possible someone's in there? And then she, instead of answering the question, was like, well, the keys, he has the key. And I was like, right. What'd she say? She's like, so if he has the key, then
no one's in there.
I was like, right. Okay. Yeah. This wasn't like, I'm not trying to, did I ask for a riddle? I thought I asked this. Like, I feel like she made it complicated.
Yeah, she didn't want us to be there, and I get it.
That's fair.
We were causing problems. I was causing problems, and yeah, I guess what I needed to hear was, you got to really twist it right. You got to twist it all the way right. That's all she had to say.
I didn't feel like that was a big ask.
Because look, some keys are weird.
Some keys are tricky.
Keys are weird. You try to open something, and it's like hard, and it's like, I've never been here before. I know it's hard to like work here, but it's like, I've never been here before. I don't know what it's like here. Like, I'm sorry. I wanted to leave. I would have rather left. I didn't want to endure that interaction. Yeah. But once it was happening, it was like, I don't want this to happen either.
Yeah. So you finally figured it out. You cracked the door code.
And I put the key on the ground in the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that. So anyway, then I go to the woman, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm curious about the cold, and then it was spelled BRU. And I was like, is there anything distinctive about the cold BRU? She was just like, brew is the name of this place. And I was like, okay, again, not like a trick question, just trying to suss out. Mm-hmm. Would have loved just
is it a specialty
that's
coffee?
Our specialty cold brew. We actually brew that in-house. It's very nice. People love it. It's very strong. I would have been like, okay, great. But instead it was like, wrong question. Like, what the fuck, ma'am? So I got it, and it was mediocre. No surprises there. Fuck you, Brew Coffee.
I don't like that place. I'm never going back.
I'm never going back.
And it's not their fault, really, but it's just...
It's their fault.
I hated that vibe. It was kind of a New York vibe, I would say. Like, in New York, no one is nice to you when you're ordering, but you expect it. I guess I don't know LA culture. I don't know what the expectation is. but it wasn't good, and I'm sorry to everyone. And yeah.
Well, I am happy though, because we've been doing some one wheeling.
Yes, dude, I'm in on the one wheel.
I'm so happy about that. So I took Andy to this trail. I done this trail. You guys gotta understand, I done this trail probably at least a dozen times, maybe 20 times. Like, just, it's nothing to me. It's nothing to me. It's not scary. I know it in and out. Like, it's my trail. Honestly, if I run into other people on the trail, they'll look at me like, why are you here with a one wheel? And I'm like, I own this trail, baby. This is my land.
You're the king of the trail.
So we're going up, and it's very cold, coldest it's ever been on the trail. And the tire pressure of the one wheels is low, which I was like, cool. That just means they're safer, honestly, more grippy. But it means the motor has to do more work. So my one wheel, I let Andy use the new one. I know, I'm a good brother.
Thank you, man.
Brother. And mine just kept overheating. The motor overheats, basically. So I was like, hey, we just got to take a break. Usually it overheats once, maybe twice to go up. Then now we're on our third overheat. And it's starting to get a little dark, trying to get to the top. It's a beautiful view.
It's beautiful. It is chilly. Like, it's not freezing, but like it's windy up there. And like, we didn't dress for cold. Like, we're wearing your like strange biker shorts that protect your ass in case you fall.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, we're dressed for like, I don't know, but it was getting the wind with wind chill, it felt like 45. It was gnarly. Yeah. So what ends up happening is my one wheel says it has like 15% battery and we're very close to the top. And I was like, no big deal, baby. We'll get right there. Like, you're kind of not supposed to ride it when it's too low, because if it gets too low, then it can't recharge going downhill. But I'm like, 15%, we're fine.
Plenty of time.
We get to the top. We finally make it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful view.
Stunning.
We've got a picture. We'll have to include the picture with the episode. Gorgeous picture that this man took for us.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel up there having conquered Beaudry Trail?
I felt good, man. I mean, the one wheel's a scary device, and I was scared when I first rode it. I mean, I sort of yelled at you because I kind of fell off.
Yeah,
and
that was scary.
So I felt like I conquered it. I felt like I was excited to go, and I was like, I can freaking climb a mountain on this weird wheel device.
I have a lot of respect for your one wheel style. I actually know a girl who snowboards like you, and
what does that mean?
She just said, my number one goal is don't fall.
Oh,
and I think that's very adult and respectable and reasonable. It's not my personal cup of tea.
What is your style?
A little bit riskier. I want to go fast. If I fall, I don't want to fall, but if I fall, I fall.
Right.
It is what it is.
The one wheel just feels like if I fall, I'm going to hurt myself really bad. At least with snowboarding, I probably am. I guess I am kind of similar, but
it's great. Well, we had gear, so you guys know. We had helmet, everything, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards. Anyway, so then we start to go down. I'm like, no big deal. The one wheel rail recharges downhill. We're good to go.
Which is crazy, by the way.
So sick.
You ride it downhill and it recharges itself.
It regenerates energy going downhill. Very sick. Unfortunately, it was so low on battery, I couldn't get it to recharge.
Yeah.
So now we're left with like an option of one person can ride the one wheel while carrying, by the way, a one wheel weighs 35 pounds. So I'm like, I guess we'll just ride the one wheel down.
Yeah.
I'll ride the one wheel down while carrying the other one wheel. And then Andy will have to walk
the whole mountain. That required a one wheel to get up.
3.5 miles down. It's not short. It's not short. And so we're kind of going, and I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling like such a failure at this point. And I'm also feeling like something I've tried to tell you guys, which is you got to respect the mountain, because this is my mountain. I own it. And here it is owning my ass.
It's telling you, it's like, you don't own me, man. I'm a mountain. I am a mountain. You will respect me.
Respected. And so I'm like carrying the one wheel, and it's cold, and it's hard to grip it too. And like my knuckles hurt, and it just sucks. And I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I told my brother, like, I don't do tricks on the one wheel. I'm like the guy that people are like, you do tricks? And I'm like, oh, I ride it down mountain trails, bro.
Yeah, that's a trick.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. And it was just humiliating, you know, and also to be holding this thing. It's like
so
just
heavy,
terrible.
you
It's
look
like
ridiculous.
I look like a moron. I look like a failure. And it's like, what happened?
It's like something clearly happened.
And it's my fault.
And then it's me coming behind, like wearing all this gear, walking. It's like, what happened to you?
It's humiliating. So my brain is like, keep trying, Danny. You can make it, recharge. And I'm trying. And so you guys got to understand when it's low on battery, and it basically the one wheel will be like, you're too low on battery. You're going to kill yourself. It'll just go zzz, 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 and then it'll make the nose go up really, really high so that it's like uncomfortable to ride and basically just like forces you off it just the whole way down. Zzz, zzz, zzz.
Brutal.
And Andy's like, that's the saddest sound in the world. And I'm like, I guess it just is what it is.
Well, it's like riding a bike like with the brakes on like the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like brutal.
Yeah, so I'm trying everything. I eventually I'm just like, it's over for me, you know. This sucks. I'm embarrassed in front of my only brother,
and I'm walking and I'm like trying to be chill about it, but it is cold. The knee pads start itching me. I get hungry. My ankle starts hurt. I'm like, God, I have to keep walk. I started running. I ran a little bit of it, and then my ankle would hurt. It'd be like, maybe I shouldn't run, because if I fall and hurt my ankle and Danny's at the bottom of the mountain, he's not coming back up for me.
No, I mean, I leave you to die. And you are a human, which sucks. But and here's I think the worst part too. Downhill is the most fun part. So I'm like, we're literally being robbed of the most fun part. I wanted my brother to experience the one-wheel downhill experience. So Andy gets very ahead of me at one point, and my brain just won't drop it. It's like, you can do it, Danny. I don't know what voices are in my head. There's lots of different characters in there. Hey, Danny! And so I'm like stubbornly doing it and just and I'm just like getting angry. I'm getting angry. Like I want to punch the one wheel. I'm doing things that I don't even know work. Like I'm just pushing it. Like I'm pushing the one wheel. Like I'm on almost all fours. I'm trying to drag the one wheel with the other one wheel to spin the tire to make the regenerative braking work. Nothing is working.
And it's like taking forever. And I'm like walking and looking behind me, and I'm like, I hope he's trying to make it work again, because if he isn't and he's trying to come down, that means something horrible has happened, because he's taking forever and I'm on foot.
It wasn't not dangerous, you know. But anyway, I started realizing that, you know, it was also so cold that when you mount the one wheel, if it doesn't detect you, it'll just kind of like fall forward. And it was so cold that was happening a lot. So now normally if it has battery, it's no problem. You just lean back the other way like a seesaw, right? But I was thinking about it and I was like, wait, leaning the wrong way is going to take a lot more energy than leaning downhill, which is how it regenerates. And so then I was like, let me just always make sure that if it doesn't catch me on the downhill lean, I just get off and try again.
Nice.
So I started doing that. And slowly but surely, people, we would go longer. We went 1, 2, 3 seconds. Then I would jump off. And then again, I would find a good downhill stretch, right? You need no uphill. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Motherfucker, we're getting progress. And what I would do is because like it's not that it's downhill, like 95% downhill, but there's just slight parts that go just a teeny bit uphill. And so we would hit that uphill, and I would jump off it and then grab it and then run up to the next downhill. And I remember then I just hit a stretch where it was like 30 seconds and I'm like, I think we're good. And I was paranoid for a minute. And guys, we made it freaking down. I rode the one wheel down and we made it
down, and I got to ride downhill, which is the funnest part, the most fun actually.
Dude, I gotta get One Wheel to sponsor me. I'm spending so much fucking money on these things, promoting them.
They're big boys.
It was so sick, you guys. And it just had this like amazing, like I overcame something. We overcame something.
Dude, it was brutal. I was like, how long are we going to be on this mountain? How long? And
I'm happy we got this too, because I never had it with one wheeling, but this is one of my favorite things about snowboarding. Like invariably you will end up in a situation where you're like, I'm fucked. I didn't even know I could get this.
You were missing that. You wanted think I'm fucked situation.
Yes, because it's this feeling of your brain being like, this is bad, boy. We're in stress. We're dealing with this, but you know what? You're not actually fucked. You're not, I mean, oh God, we're never going to actually die.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we're never going to die.
in doing that, in conquering that, we grow stronger. Like my brain could have just given up and been like, oh, just carry it down and take the easy way out. But like, I just knew that if I persisted and thought a little bit harder, I could get through it. And that to me is like gold, man.
It's a struggle that you don't feel in your day-to-day sort of Los Angeles, New York coastal elite lifestyle, which we live in and enjoy and are proud of.
Yeah, unless you go to brew coffee, then you will encounter a hostile.
The key didn't work well. How do you? Oh, I've never been here before, man. Like, I'm sorry.
All right, final story. I know this has gone on long. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Thanks for listening, guys, for real. So and I'm Andy, by the way, Danny's brother.
Yeah. So, I think didn't we introduce you at the top?
Probably at the top.
Doing a redo.
Just a little bit of a reminder who I am. What my babe is.
So he's the improv brother. Okay. So then that felt mean. So sorry. And we go to Echo Park Lake last night to do a little walk because we had Pine and Crane, which is a wonderful little.
Quite delicious.
I guess it's Taiwanese, kind of dim sum style. Really good. Anyway. Commercial for them. I got to get sponsored. So anyway, we're walking at Echo Park and first I hear geese.
Oh, you didn't see the jump.
No, I did see the jump, but I heard the geese, and I want to say that one of the geese kind of fell out of the air. There was something to indicate like this is not a smooth goose moment.
Yeah, and that is a goose in distress. We look up and we see a beautiful husky.
Gorgeous.
Take a leap of about 5 feet into the air and land in the lake.
In Echo Park freaking lake. I must have walked this park 250 times around the goddamn loop. Never seen a dog go in the water. Never seen anything but a raccoon crawl around the edge. This was not the edge. This was not the edge.
It was deep.
Now, this dog wasn't actually landing in water. It was landing in, for lack of a riparian word here. Yeah, I dropped riparian. I don't know if that's correct. But it was like sort of a lily pad-ish, sort of dense, floral situation.
Greenery.
Vines and shit.
Not easy to swim in.
No. And
you do not want to get in that. It did not look, I mean, the lake is probably not clean. I mean, the animal.
Well, yeah, it's filled with goose shit and it's a reservoir. It's like genuinely animals live in it. You're not supposed to go in it.
Yeah.
And so then one of the women is laying down and screaming the name. Now, this isn't the real name of the husky, but the name of the husky we're going to call 8 Ball.
Yeah, that's good.
And that wasn't associated to billiards.
No.
Because it was an all-white husky, if you know what I mean. It's not the real name, but it captures the spirit of the real name.
Sniff, sniff.
Wink, wink.
Smell, smell.
She's like, 8 Ball, 8 Ball. So I'm just kind of staring and like sussing this out where I'm like, okay, the husky's clearly not on a leash.
No.
And I'm like, I'm not worried at all.
I'm pretty freaked out.
Andy was freaked. I literally was like, I'll just do the whistle approach. Maybe he responds to that's what I did.
It wasn't responding to screaming. It was swimming the other way.
No, and it was going the wrong way.
And it wasn't moving. It was moving an inch.
It really wasn't moving because it was in this, thick sludge situation. So finally the dog turns around and then I think the dog really wasn't able to maneuver very well because it started to go the wrong way. But then eventually, she got a hold of the dog. Yeah. And I think I kind of like pulled on her arm a little bit to help her.
I was straight up pulling on her legs. I should have asked, but she would pull the dog and she would move. I was afraid she was going to fall in, so I was kind of grabbing her ankles.
The craziest moment for me was she had a littler dog, like a Boston Terrier.
She has 2 little dogs, right?
Well, the other dog was on a leash. That belonged to the other woman. Okay. This little dog that was also not on a leash got on her back.
Yeah.
So the dog was almost hanging over the lake.
Yes.
He's barking, just kind of probably like, what the hell? I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it. And so anyway, finally, they pull the husky out, and this is a sight that will be ingrained in my mind till the day I die. The face of the husky as it's being lifted out of the water, which was, that was fun.
It was so happy.
It was happy. This was not, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm happy to be rescued. It was like,
that was fun.
That was so cool.
I can't wait to do this again.
And in fact, we gathered over the course of their yelling that this was at least the second time this had happened. And it's like,
put a leash on the dog if it jumps in the lake as a habit. You don't want to pull it out of the lake.
No.
Even if it like is gonna be fine, which it would be fine, it's like gross. Like you gotta go wash that dog now. Like they have to go give that dog a bath.
I hope, bro. That's
gross.
Disgusting.
It's gross.
Disgusting, bro. Covered in Echo Park Lake. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that from the dogs, like and she was yelling at the dog, "Oh, 8-Ball, what are you doing?
8-Ball.
What are you doing?" And like, to me, this just speaks to like such a classic asshole thing. It's like, ma'am, that is a dog. That is a husky you are yelling at in 60-degree weather. Like it legitimately is probably hot.
Yeah, it wants the cold water.
You know, and it's like, this is 100% your fault. What's wrong with you?
And Danny said all of this to her, like, as she was pulling out her dog, too.
Yeah, I should have, man. No, I didn't say shit. I don't think I said shit.
No, it would have been mean to say that.
Yeah.
Her dog was in the lake.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that she didn't learn the first time, though, it's kind of like...
Yeah, it'll keep happening.
I guess 2 strikes. So we have said before on the pod, it's a 1-strike rule makes you an asshole. Now we're at the 2nd strike. So now if I saw her again without the leash, I'd be like, ma'am, you're really begging for trouble here.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the husky story. Thanks for listening to that. Andy, thanks for doing the show. It's good to have you.
Dude, Danny, my brother. Thanks for having me, man.
We got some silly situaroos for you people. Our second story of the day, AITA for ditching my drunk friend at a comedy show.
Ooh.
But first, AITA for not inviting my friend's husband to dinner because he eats way too much. My friend has been married for a year now to her firefighter husband. She's the only one in the friend group that's married. I usually host dinners every couple of months, and we were going to do a late one for the holidays on Friday. I usually invite him, but money's tight due to the holidays, and he eats so much. I understand why, but it always results in my having to double recipes or I run out of food. So this time I told everyone that I want to just do a girls' night. This means my friend's husband is not invited. If he isn't there, then there's enough food for everyone without double recipes. She called me up asking why I'm doing a girls' night. I told her the truth. I can't afford to make double for dinner and her husband eats a lot. She called me a jagoff, and now she is telling my friends why. Everyone is split and no one is offering to help with the food bill. AITA.
Wow.
I got to drop a classic on this one. Money is real, people.
Money is real.
This is like, I have a bodybuilder friend who eats a lot. You know, if I'm like fresh off a run, I can eat a crazy amount. But like, there's a polite amount to eat that's not like, you usually can just discern it by kind of looking at the platter that it's being served from or like what the host doles out. Like, it kind of sounds like this guy also expects to eat this much.
Yeah, I'm also like, how much is he eating? But then she says, usually having to double recipes when he comes over.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's eating twice,
dude,
than what everyone else is eating.
I mean, I could easily eat twice what like a small woman eats. Yeah, I mean, I weigh twice what a small woman weighs, and if I'm hungry, like if you work out at all, like that can really get crazy.
Yeah, the tough part is she never said that was why. It was girls' night, which a girls' night is a totally fine thing to have. It's totally appropriate. Yes. And they questioned it. And so she kind of was forced to reveal her hand, which she didn't want to share this information, really.
Yeah. I thought it was a reasonable reveal. I thought it was like, look, I'm just going to level with you. And honestly, wasn't she being vulnerable, admitting like, dog, I just straight up can't afford it. Like, it's too expensive to feed your fucking husband. You know, and that she would take, God, if my friend told me this, so like, hey man, like I know you're into the running now, but like last time you came over, it just put a strain on my budget, how much you ate. I would be so mortified. I'd be like, hey, I'm happy to throw in more. You're right. I did eat more. You know, like if that's the level where we're tracking pieces of chicken, then dog, I'm happy to put in more.
Yeah, this feels like this could have been solved with like a potluck situation or like what you don't have to cook for so many people, but it wasn't her intention to even reveal the reasoning. She wanted to keep it private because it's probably embarrassing for her to be like, I can't afford to feed that many your firefighter animal husband.
I'm not an animal.
Take out the fire.
I'll put the fire out. I'm a good man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think he's doing anything wrong, but it's like, again, money is real. Like, that's just what's happening here, and it's straining this person, you know? And then I'm ready to throw some dings on this friend. She called me a jagoff. Are you 12?
No
Are
need.
you fucking 12 right now?
I don't think I've ever actually heard that said out loud to someone before.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
What does that even mean?
Everyone is split and no one is offering to help with the food bill. I'm not liking these friends either. But also, I don't know. I'm not good at cooking. I would never be like, I'm going to cook for like 7 people.
I just feel like, yeah, of course no one else is offering. Why would anybody else pay? It's the people who are eating the food should pay. It's like this friend is just like, you're wrong. You have to feed my boyfriend. He's a hungry boyfriend. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Possession minimum 862. Is he insisting on more food? You also didn't need to tell her the real reason if you didn't want to, and you probably made him feel shitty. Really? They're not really acting like people who feel shitty. They're acting like people whose ego is bruised, who actually don't want to make it better. TBH, if money is tight, maybe don't host dinners. Why? Why would that be the fucking answer, Reddit? She wants to host a dinner. There's nothing unreasonable about what she's doing. What's unreasonable here is that firefighter here is coming in and being motherfucking Kirby. Like, can he eat one serving like everyone else? Like,
he comes over, he eats my turkey, he becomes a turkey. It's unreasonable. He doesn't even get the best parts of the turkey. He gets one specific power that the turkey has. You got a Kirby of a husband, and I'm sick of your shit.
Gobble, 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 gobble. That's not a real power.
It's not a real power, dude. You're taking other people's powers.
And you are happy to host, but this is the comment, but bringing dishes contributing to the cost would help instead of singling out one person and making them feel guilty for eating. But that's reality. Men eat more. Like, that's what he's doing. He's a big guy. Good for him.
That's why she wants a girls' night. Yeah, I guess, like, I understand the impulse to be like, she could have, like, not said it like that and make him feel bad. But it's like, yeah, but his wife was like asking, like she made her show the card, and it's like you expect her to like be polite times 2, like hide that again and just be like, sorry, I'm too poor to like have more people come. It's like, fuck you.
Fuck her. Content most 6047. This could be about my partner. He's 6'3" and can eat what 3 grown men can in a sitting without gaining weight. I fucking hate these people, by the way. They're always like, I could eat whatever I want. I won't gain a single pound. I'm like, oh, congrats on winning the lottery, you motherfucker. I used to scold him when we went out because he would eat seconds or thirds before anyone even finished their first plate. Now he eats before, and I give him the look of he's being greedy. NTA drives me nuts, and it's my partner. To be honest, I feel like that's fair. Like, if you are eating at caloric levels that are like well beyond a regular person, like, and it's a situation where like you could put a strain on someone, like a measured dinner like this, like, I do feel like you need to be conscious of it. Like, yeah, I can go to IHOP and eat a fucking Colorado omelet and 3 whole pancakes, and that's like probably 3,500 calories. Is that a reasonable thing to go to someone's house and eat? No,
they're making you dinner.
Like, come on.
Like, when I'm eating with new people at a especially a dinner someone's making, I'm like, I'm watching how fast I eat, not even just like the amount of food I'm eating. Like, I'm trying to match everyone else because I'm not trying to stick out as like, ooh, I'm eating all the sweet potatoes.
This legitimately feels like he's like, I eat what I want. And she's like, please, we have to feed him. If we don't feed the beast, he'll eat me.
There'll be so many fires. How will he fight the fires if he doesn't eat all of your food?
AITA for not inviting my friend's husband to dinner because he eats way too much. I honestly think the pivot to girls' night was a nice way to do this.
Yes.
She asked, OP reported, this person fired back with name calling and wasn't able to accept or compensate for the strain this was putting on. And honestly, I don't think OP did anything remotely unreasonable for these reasons NTA and the friend is.
Yep. I'm with you.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Now, Andy does comedy as well. He's an improv focus, so we're just going to do some comedy situations.
I'm an improv focus.
He's an improv focused comedian. Here we go. AITA for ditching my drunk friend at a comedy show. My old friend who I've had issues with had an extra ticket to a show and offered it to me. It was a work night, but it seemed fun. So I went with him and my fiance drove us to the train. I bought us both drinks for the train and we drank going in. Damn, train drinking.
Cool.
At some point he got insanely drunk. I have no clue how this happened and the speed at which it happened. He started to shout random shit and started to piss off the people around us. God. This was the first time I had seen him in 4 months and he was becoming my problem to deal with. He made the show so unenjoyable for me by being a drunk asshole and constantly talking through the whole thing. He kept getting up and buying drinks, and I specifically asked him not to get me anything, but twice he brought me alcohol I did not ask for or want. I eventually got up and got him a water, but he refused it, saying, "I don't drink water," and drinking his beer. I sat down and tolerated his behavior for another 15 before I started aggressively telling him to shut up as he mumbled and shouted through the show, and eventually I just said, "I'm out," and left. I don't know how he's going to get home, and the more time goes by, I feel like a bigger and bigger asshole. AITA.
Wow. Have you ever been in a show or at a show where an audience member tells like an annoying heckler or drunk person to shut up?
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think a lot of these guys know a story that just happened to me or that didn't happen because the person talking owned the venue. Now that is a tough one.
That's hard.
But yeah, that happens. I think audience members in general want to enjoy the show so they can be on your side.
Yeah, no, this is brutal. I mean, he's a monster.
I mean, I'm
this
just
man
curious.
Is a big monster, man.
Who? OP?
No, the drunkard.
I'm kind of ready to ding OP too, though, and I wanted to know if where you were on this because I'm like, dude, like I get it, like it's your friend and he's responsible, but like you're just gonna leave that man here, like you're kind of the best person to be like, hey man, I think we need to go. Like, can you please take him out of the comedy show? You know how hard that is to deal with.
Yeah.
Is that too much of an ask? Is there a duty to protect your drunk friend also from himself? He's so drunk.
I suppose, but they're not really that close. They've had issues on and off in the past, and they hadn't seen each other for 4 months. This was a barrage of the drunkard friend attacking this person on the train, being drunk, pissing people off in the venue, continually doing it despite being begged to stop and given water. I don't drink water. I guess this person clearly actually does need help to an extent.
Who doesn't drink water?
You don't drink water?
Bro, that's so core.
That's so core.
That's so core. Like, that's human 101.
That's
you gotta drink
core,
water,
man.
bro. You gotta get woke to this water shit, dog.
But yeah, I guess you're right. I do feel bad for the people in the venue who have to keep dealing with him, but
I think you're right. I think it's fair. I think it's kind of like, well, you're a club or whatever. You're a venue having a show. Like, it's kind of on you to deal with these people. Like, it's not on me to be drunk police. Like, if he left his friend on the street, I'd be like, well, like he's a grown adult with alcoholism. Like, what? Now you have to rescue him? Like, I guess I am feeling like it's hard to land that charge, even though personally I would love it if that were the culture.
Yeah, I think they did all they could by like asking them multiple times in the show to like stop getting me drinks, here's water. Like, they did the steps that like you would want an audience member to do. How much more could he try? How much more could he like, again, like I've seen shows where audience members literally go, shut the fuck up to a heckler, and it's like sometimes it's like that's actually too much. Like, you're actually causing more of a disruption.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're causing tension because now it's like there's another fight going on rather than like, hey, can you please be quiet? Like, you'd rather the audience member like gently tell them to be quiet rather than like cause more of a scene. Like, them dragging him out would probably cause more problems.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. If it got to that point. St. Alvis writes, you say, quote, at some point he got insanely drunk. I have no clue how this happened, unquote. I think I figured it out, OP. You also said, quote, he kept getting up and buying drinks.
Damn.
This reminds me of a Drinking Danny quote, which was, I'm such a lightweight. I had like 10 beers and I'm gone.
Oh my God.
And my friend was like, that's a very normal amount to be extremely wasted from. Dude, and I was like, oh. Yeah, you're right.
I think if I had 10 beers, I'd be sick for 5 days. I don't think.
Wow, that's bad.
10 beers. No, we don't have to go.
You could go. Just ask. We're here.
How many and how quickly would you have 10 beers?
Bro, you know how fast
I'm doing dry January, and so I've been partaking in your non-alcoholic beers, a lot of O'Doul's, some 0% Guinness, and we'll open one and you will chug them.
It's not literally chugging, but I'm a fast drinker.
I would say you do three drinks
an hour.
No,
what?
You do 1, 2, 3, and you're done. Like 3 mouth to can.
Andy,
Is it 2?
I think you're being ridiculous. I think it's like 8, but it goes fast.
Dude, it goes
fast. I mean, we got a mango liquid death, which is like what, a 24-ounce can.
Yeah, those are big.
Yeah, and I was done with it before we left the grocery store.
Before I had an eighth of it.
Yeah. Like I just drink liquids fast.
Yeah.
And actually, this is another weird thing I just learned about my brother. He apparently got a small mouth. This is something he told me, and it's freaked me out since.
Yeah, I learned with our buddy Justin. We were filming a sketch that involved me putting an egg in my mouth. The game of the sketch doesn't matter because it didn't exist. There wasn't really a clear premise. But we started filming and I couldn't put it in my mouth.
Couldn't put it
doesn't go in
mouth.
between my teeth. Like, I couldn't put this.
You can't put the mic in your mouth?
I cannot do that.
I put the whole phone in my mouth. I need to wash it now.
I can't even get close to that. And it like hurts. So that's something
Got
about
a small
me.
Mouth, you know?
I'm Danny's brother, by the way. Andy.
Yeah, we brought you here because he's got the smallest mouth in New York City.
Come check it out, small mouth.
Nut Michelle writes, ESH, obviously his behavior sucked and he was wrong to get that drunk if he couldn't keep it together. But I don't think it's ever okay to ditch someone who has been drinking without first making sure they have a safe plan for getting home. Fuck you. Just fuck this person. Fuck this sanctimonious attitude because, A, first of all, what if that person punches you in the face?
Yeah.
Or what if they're just being menacing generally? Like, no, they're an adult. Like, it's kind of their responsibility. Like, and to be fair and like to go to my own drinking past, like one of the marks and one of the things that scarred me so much was that I came out of a blackout alone. It can kind of be a good little wake up call.
Yeah.
You don't owe a drunk adult protection. Like, you're not in the Secret Service.
No.
You're not their hired security. Like, and especially in this case.
Yeah, I mean, if they're sober enough to continually buy drinks, like they can get an Uber, like they'll be fine, and it's not your responsibility. Like it's if you help them, it's just gonna keep happening anyways. They clearly aren't learning anything, so it's like whatever.
I mean, obviously, if it's like your significant other and they're having a wild and crazy night.
But if it's friend you haven't heard from in 4 months and you used to actually secretly hate, which is the vibe I'm getting from the intro paragraph.
I know, right?
You can leave them at this venue they're doing crowd
work at. Let me tell you something. Anybody who you're on and off with, let me tell you what it needs to be. Off. There's a big gap between I see them occasionally, totally fine and totally normal, and we have an on and off. Off needs to be where you go to. AITA for ditching my drunk friend at a comedy show. I wanted them to do more, but in the end, I think you sobered me off that because, you know, I was seeing it from the comedian's perspective. And I will say this, though. The friend is in the best position to make this go smoothly. As a comic, I don't want to have to get to a point where I'm calling it out. I don't want to get the venue involved in calling it out. Like, you're kind of the best person to keep the show respectful, dear audience members and listeners out there. Mm-hmm. But I think we agree on this. NTA and the heckler is.
Yep.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. We're going to wrap up here on a brutal situation for my artists. Obviously, it's about comedy in general, but I'm excited for this because I think it goes to some deep places. AITA for telling my buddy that his comedy is bad and he shouldn't go on tour with his improv group.
Wait.
I have posted my friend's improv to Reddit/r/cringe. It's a subreddit about cringe. So I'm going to do this on a throwaway account. I, 27M, have a friend, 28M, that wants to be a comedian. He's really not funny. I'm sorry, but he's not. He joined an improv group and they do shows at a comedy club, a local one. I've gone to a couple, maybe 20 people show up to these shows, usually less.
Brutal.
He's really into this improv group and they want to go, quote unquote, on tour, basically traveling to clubs in different states and performing. He won't be getting paid, but he wants to quit his job and travel for exposure. When he came to talk to me about it, I told him it was a bad idea. He has a girlfriend and a young kid. He can't just uproot them to chase a wild dream that isn't going to happen. When he asked me why it wasn't going to happen, I told him that he wasn't very funny. It really upset him. He accused me of being a fake friend and trying to crush his dreams. He said he was doing this for his girl and kids so that they could have a better life. I told him that working an actual job would give them a better life. I've tried to apologize for my bluntness, but he won't talk to me. My girlfriend said it wasn't my place to tell him that his comedy was bad, but would be pissed if she was left with a child for this. Am I being an asshole and an unsupportive friend? I'm on the fence about it because I think he's delusional. AITA.
Whew. Wow. Look, I would say most people who do improv like need help.
That's how we're opening this. Wow, I don't
You want to
disagree.
quit your job and travel for exposure? Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's read this sentence. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You want to quit your job and travel for exposure.
Yeah.
So you're quitting to go maybe get exposure?
What?
What? You have a kid, right?
Yeah.
You have a girlfriend and a child. Dude. The brutal part, one brutal part of this is maybe 20 people show up to these or less. That's all improv. That's actually pretty damn good.
Dude, in a coastal city, that's great for a stand-up show.
That's pretty sick. If you're doing regular shows, you're getting 20 people. Like, that's actually
It's not bad.
This is the friend's worst piece of the argument. The rest is pretty strong.
Well, I think this guy is right. I'm like, clearly your friend doesn't have a path forward here to have a career here. But like posting your friend's art on Cringe, like
That's
you
mean.
are a
You're a
fucking
monster.
asshole, bro. That is so fucking mean. Like, what?
It's also like, it's so brutal because improv isn't, I wouldn't say isn't good, period. Isn't good, like, recorded. Like, the thing that works so good about improv is the communal, like,
Right.
you're watching something
We're here together.
created. It's, that's the fun of it. It's live, but when it's put onto video or like photo, like, it's always going to be cringe. Even like the best improv in the world is cringe recorded. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not for that, really.
I don't know if I go that far.
Most of it.
Personally, I think you should record some of your improvs. But
Thanks, Danny.
yeah, I said improvs. Come on down to the improv.
Come check out some of our improvs. Tonight we're doing accents and puns, but tomorrow, other stuff.
I feel like this guy is very jealous or has some dreams of his own he hasn't pursued because his level of cruelty, straight cruelty, is so high here. Insisting this person isn't funny, which, look, that might be true, but like, I think, let me say this about funny. I feel like some people don't understand this. Jeff Dunham is funny. Gallagher, Exploding Watermelons, fucking Jeff Foxworthy, whatever you want to say, whatever comedian you think is like shitty, they're still funny. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not funny. They make people laugh. Now, do I find them funny? Of course not. I don't find it funny at all. But I think funny to me is a word of objectivity. It means able to make others laugh. Like, it could be totally something I hate. Friends is a funny show. Now, it makes me a little queasy to say that out loud, but people laugh at it. Yeah, and he might be doing, these shows might be fine. Like, they got 20 like
people.
they're fine.
That's an audience. People are watching.
I just don't like when people offer, they're saying he's not funny to me. I feel like that's what he's really saying. Like, if he said every show I've been to, this guy gets silence, I'd be like, that's reporting, honestly. Like, if it had gotten to the point of the friend being like, well, just tell me then. Just tell me. Am I funny? And then the friend like got pushed into answering that. I was like, look, man, I don't think the crowds are reacting exactly as good as you think. Yeah. I'd be like, that's clean, but you shouldn't be leading with that. That said, I kind of feel like his objections here, beyond the not funny one, are 100% valid.
Yeah. Well, it's the problem is, like, it's not that, man, you don't have the talent, you're not funny enough. It's like, bare minimum, you're not going to be able to, like, go travel and do improv comedy shows and make a good living. Honestly, you probably won't be able to make a living. Like, there are very, very few people who do that. I would honestly say almost nobody does that. Like even the best improvisers in New York who have followings, like that's not their only job. Like they have to do other shit. Like you can't, you're not doing it, my man. No one is doing that. That's not a thing.
I think this is, I think when people say these things or even do them, I hope they don't actually do them. It's a fantasy. And the fantasy is that if I really didn't have a job, I didn't have any other obligations, I would magically then be motivated to pursue this thing. And of course it would happen then. And I've fallen into them myself many times. I mean, for me, it kind of manifests with like, I always would buy, like if I buy a new camera, I'll make lots of videos. And it's like, for this situation, it's like, well, if I quit my job, then I'll do comedy. It's like, no, don't quit your job. Just do comedy.
Start doing
like
it.
You can drive to a town that's 3 hours away. I just did it, baby. 5 hours away, to go do a show there, to go do shows in the immediate vicinity. Why do you need to uproot everything for this fantasy? Like, why is that how you're approaching this?
There's no need. Yeah. Like you can go ahead and go do improv festivals and not get paid. And like, you can go do that on some weekends. You're not going to be able to like string multiple improv shows back to back and actually go on tour unless like you truly have a following.
Put the rubber to the road before you blow up your whole freaking life.
Wow. You come up with that right now?
I did. Yeah,
That's
I made
cool,
up rubber
dude.
and road, and yeah, it was interesting. No, but I do think like, look, there's a lot of these people in comedy, and it's a joke in comedy. It's like it's the worst get rich quick scheme. Like you're not get rich quick. Why did that feel weird?
Get rich quick.
Yeah, it's not a terrible way to make money. I mean, guys, I've been doing comedy for, fucking 15 years and I'm not making, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I'm doing okay now, but like,
You're doing great,
it's
man.
been a while. Like it takes a lot of time, effort, energy. This is not a way to just print money, bro.
No.
YTA writes, Teak367, you had a perfectly valid reason for telling him he shouldn't be going, but you had said pick the one that makes you an asshole. Whether you find them funny or not is irrelevant. I'm sure plenty of shitty improv folks make it. Not true, as Andy has attested to.
No.
That's totally not true. But even if he was objectively hilarious, saying don't uproot your girlfriend and kid for something that may not happen regardless of talent is all you had to say. Yeah, I think he could be more positive. I mean, I think a lot of people don't know about the unstructured path of comedy and stuff, but it's like, dude, take one step at a time, make $100 a show before you fantasize about.
Get paid anything first. It sounds like none of these shows are paid. It's like, what are you quitting for exactly? Like, what is the goal? But yeah, again, I agree. Like, this was mean. They were already posting stuff on our cringe. That's so mean. Doing that about anyone's thing and calling them a friend is like, you're not a friend of them. You post their stuff on our cringe.
You're a hater, bro.
You hate them.
And I think it's an important thing. Like, I have friends who have, make art that I don't really like or think is good or whatever, but I'm not going to just say that.
You're not gonna like try to mine Reddit karma by posting to like, look how dumb this guy is.
I would never do that. I would never do that. Like, why would I do that? That's so horrible. It doesn't benefit anybody. And like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a skill. It has to be learned. But like, look, and I also know people whose art is objectively bad and should quit, of course. But I'm not going to say that to them. Instead, I'll try to find one or two aspects that I do enjoy. And you know what? That's true for shit you enjoy as well. That's actually kind of, it's just a much better compliment when it's specific. Like when people are like, dude, really good set. Your comedy is so good. I'm like, it kind of just seems like you're trying to puff me up.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're like, oh, dude, I love your joke about, Kindles. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. That feels real. It's specific. It's concrete, Yeah. You can find one good thing to say about your friend's shitty art.
I'm sure he does something good on stage.
Sure.
He sounds like he's performing pretty
Don't
regularly.
say this, though. Someone did throw this one at me. Your stage presence is very good. That's a little bit, that's getting
You
weird.
don't like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, I guess, but like try to find a specific joke. Like, I think you can word it this way. Even if you don't find them funny, you could say, I like what you said about. That's a pretty low bar. Like I really love the wording of this joke. I think that is enough. You don't need to even say they're funny.
I think for improvisers, stage presence is fine. You can say
yeah, for an improviser.
Because like, what are you
That's
going to do?
fair.
Remember the set? It's like,
Yeah.
they didn't even know what they were saying. It just came out of nowhere.
They
I don't know what
don't
happened.
know.
They don't know. It's magic.
Andy, thank you so much for visiting me in LA. You're my first guest in this apartment. I've been here 2.5 years. You're the first friend to stay over.
Wow.
I mean, look, a woman has spent the night here. Oh my God, has only one woman spent the night here ever? Oh my God, I think that's true, dude. Oh my God,
That's
bro.
okay,
You're the
bro.
second person and the first non-one night stand.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow, that's depressing. Is that
man.
true?
That doesn't have to be depressing.
I think that's true.
Did you stay at anyone else's house?
No, man.
Ooh, okay.
No. Oh wait, no, two. There were two. Okay. Whew, all right. I don't know why I needed two.
Yeah. And the number, it's all doesn't, whatever. It's been great to be here.
It was funny because me and Brian were talking about how much we'd been laid this year, and I think we were both in the single digits.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It is funny, man. You
It's
guys are
not a
funny
problem.
guys. You're funny,
It's not
like
a problem.
funny
It's
elders to me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
Nobody's here, bro.
I'm here for you and stuff. I'm 8 years
Nobody's
younger. I'm
here.
Danny's brother, obviously. Andy, I'm sort of here for him.
Stay here, bro.
You've sort of been doing that. You've been doing this a lot. You've been sort of crying a lot. You get angry. I have to leave. I got a flight. I got a flight soon. I got to leave soon.
More O'Douls.
You want me to get more O'Douls?
Just bring like 100. I can drink.
I'm not gonna bring you
I
100.
drink like 100 O'Douls.
You should make a Mr. Beast style video. I drink 100 O'Douls. I drink O'Douls until I go to sleep.
All right, guys, that's the show. Much love. We'll see you next time. Bye.